Hello again, welcome back to another video. Just a short one tonight. Before I go on to that, if you've watched my streams at the weekend or my last stream, you'll know that I've created a Twitter account just at Golfstar_Dan, or just search for Golfstar Dan on Twitter. I think there's only one of me. Idea behind that is I can pre-announce stuff such as when I'll be streaming, and maybe we can arrange stuff beforehand and we're gonna have a bit of fun. We had a game at the weekend, if you watched, with a few guys watching. A couple of fun rounds. It's nice to do that sort of thing, but it probably needs a bit of pre-planning to make it all go a bit more smoothly. But yeah, anyway, on with tonight's video. So just a quick one tonight. There's been an announcement. The new update we've all been waiting for is coming tomorrow. So it's Monday night in the UK as I do this video. So Tuesday AM is going to be when it comes here in the UK. It's probably something like 7-8 o'clock, but it'll more than likely go on to 10-11 o'clock. There's a lot of changes coming in, so I'd probably expect there to be a few teething issues as well. We'll see how it goes. But the massive change is going to be, again, if you've watched my previous videos, specifically on the driving distance issue or the trajectory problem, you'll know that that's being addressed, and this is the update that addresses it. So there's a load of other stuff we'll come to, but the big one for me at the moment is this physics system improvement. So as you can see, it's fixing the existing trajectory to be more realistic, and the error of abnormal trajectories being displayed due to some physics issues. So again, both the issues that we're looking at. So there's a load of specifics here which I won't go into now. A lot of interesting stuff to get to this. What you'll find if you read through this, you'll see basically this isn't just, as I kind of was getting at in my last video on the subject, this isn't just going to be something that increases the driving distance for those who've been missing out with the really high stats, and everything else remains unchanged. This is going to change the game massively for everyone. Probably to a lesser extent, the less stats you've got, it might not be as noticeable, but it is still going to affect you. And it's not just the woods, it's the short irons, the long irons, it's even the putter. If you go down, you may feel as if putting speed is increased due to the increase in power value of each spot. Not sure what that means, but if you put with the same power as before, the distance will be the same. So I don't see that being a massive one, but it is still going to be affecting putting. And again, chip shots, flop shots, everything is going to be affected by this. The height of shots, if you're used to getting over a particular obstacle, you might not be able to anymore. Equally, there might be an obstacle you couldn't clear that you now can. Who knows? We'll find out tomorrow how all that's going to work. So that is by far the most interesting and the biggest change that we're going to be seeing tomorrow. There's some other stuff which I'm ambivalent about. There's a long putting tournament. Interesting, not something I'm particularly worried about playing, but maybe I'll have to. I'll probably need to if you've watched some of my previous streams, especially when I'm trying to drink beer, play and talk at the same time. I'm a bit better when I've got time to concentrate, but I could probably do with a put in practice, so maybe that's a good thing. What's interesting about this is it will be applied first in the customized tournament and will be opened sequentially in other tournaments. Now, does that mean we're going to be seeing a putting world championship or a putting round in your tour? Who knows? We'll find out about that. Now, this second one, I've got a great deal of reservation about. In fact, I'm a bit nervous about, you might say. What we're seeing here is two new items. This first one is, for me, possibly the worst one, or could be. We'll see how this is applied. But this looks like essentially a putting guide for tee shots. So it's called the tee shot guide. It's an item that displays the ball's trajectory one time based on the current direction and distance before you make a tee shot. So basically you can line up your tee shot, you can hit the guide button, and it's going to show you where that tee shot's going to end up. I immediately think, oh dear, about that. I could be wrong. If this is just, you know, maybe a one-off per round that you can use tactically, maybe. But if this is something you can guide every tee shot, and you can get a pouch of tee shot guides as you can with the putting guides, I think we can very quickly see the game degenerating into who's got the most guides of each type. More so than it is now. Obviously at the minute you've got the putting guides, but to be honest, they're not too hard to get hold of, and everybody who's playing has got plenty of them. Everyone who's playing to any great extent and has been playing a while, you can build up a good supply of these things, and it's not a big deal. If you've also got to do that with tee shot guides, then it starts to get perhaps a little bit silly, more silly than maybe it is already. I don't know. Again, I could be wrong. What I'd like to see, if this is something that's definitely getting introduced, which it obviously is you know, for me, 1 time per round. You know, if you save that for the last hole, everybody else has used theirs, then perhaps you could say that you've got a tactical advantage, you've done well earlier in the round, and you know, I don't know. But for me, not something that I think is likely to be a good thing. But we haven't seen it yet, so you know, I don't want to slate something before it exists. But a lot of trepidation about that one. Equally, this power fix, or perhaps not quite equally, because I don't think this is quite as bad. This is something I desperately need, actually. Again, if you've watched my streams, you'll notice me frantically again and again trying to hit it on 98, 99% before finally giving up and settling for 97 and missing the green. It will essentially, you'll line your shot up and it will hit it on that power mark, bang on. Again, I don't, although I could do with it, I don't really see that being a good thing. I can't see that that's really going to increase. For me, it's a little bit of a skill, and if I can't hit the line, it's my own fault. If the time is running out and I have to settle for missing the green, I have to settle for missing the green. That's, you know, for me how it should be. But you know, this is another way of essentially automating the game, so you can guide your tee shot, you can set the power. I don't know if you can use both of those at once. You can hit the green based on your guided tee shot, and you can then use your putting guide. I'm reserving judgment very heavily on that. Again, if it's something that you can use very occasionally and you can reserve, it might not be so bad, but it doesn't sound like something, well, I'm not excited about that, put it this way. And then item B, a new item, point drink, which is basically surely what the perfect zone drink already is. That's what everybody uses it for anyway. Some people say that they use it for accuracy, and it does make you slightly more accurate, but the reason everybody uses the juice every shot is because everybody else is, and everybody needs to hit the highest points. So by that token, if you've got one person using points drinks, which is an item that doubles your shot points when you make a tee shot, everybody's using those, then the game could quickly again, well, it has already degenerated into a bit of a pay to win to a certain extent, but there is a lot of skill involved in it still. But this for me is moving even more away from the skill and more towards who's paid for the most items. So not something that sounds, not something I'm particularly excited about, but we'll reserve judgment again. We'll see how it works in practice, and we'll see how it's actually implemented. So yeah, everything in that section 2 I am worried about, put it that way. But the physics improvement is going to be interesting. They're going to change the transcendence so you can reset it. I was kind of expecting that, because once you hit your 9 tries, you're not spending any more GP trying to get better results for transcendence. So it's perfectly in their interest to make sure you keep going, so you're going to be able to pay to reset and have at least one other go, maybe several more goes at it, who knows. And they're putting the putting greens on the practice field, so you'll be able to line up your own putts. I wish I did that a few months ago when I did my putting video. It would have made life a load easier. So that's not a bad thing. So yeah, some good things, some indifferent, and some really quite worrying things to come in the update tomorrow. So you can expect a video tomorrow. I'll not be looking at all of these. What I'll probably initially focus on is just the physics specifically. We'll see how much it's affecting perhaps high stats, low stats. Again, we'll see how much time I've got to look at that in depth tomorrow. But no doubt it's going to be a subject that will be visited and revisited in videos to come. So fingers crossed about some of these, that they're not maybe as bad as they might seem. Again, we'll find out tomorrow. I'm interested to see your comments here. Fingers crossed it's not as bad as all that. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.